Hello everybody, it's Simmo here, back with another The Isle News video. I hope you're all doing well. So, update number 2 is almost here. We have Punch Packet confirming from the dev team that they plan to release update number 2 to Evrima here in November. So, with only a couple weeks left in the month, I think we have something really exciting to look forward to soon. But keep in mind that does come with the caveat that nothing goes wrong. But if you are paying attention to the roadmap, you're going to be seeing tons of items being checked off. The Hypsilophodon's already complete, while the Stego and Carno just need some polishing. So this is some good news certainly, my friends, but we got tons of more The Isle news to get into, so let's jump right into it. First, I want to cover the update that came to the Legacy branch for the Isle. The dev team have said they're not going to be working on Legacy anymore, but they did release an update this last week, fixing the issue with Hypo hacking. Kissing Kitten announced the dev's intentions on Discord like this. Hello Islanders! As many of you know, we made a statement last month that acknowledged the ongoing hacking issue in Legacy, and laid out our steadfast resolve to rectify the cheating issues. I've come to tell you that time is no longer their ally. The ever-ticking clock finally has run out, and we're ready to start deploying our initial countermeasures. Expect to see them roll out shortly. We are not actively developing the Legacy branch, merely maintaining it. Meaning that whilst our development focus is still on Evrima, we'll be tearing out the hackers as if they were weeds in our garden. So a pretty strong statement there from Kissing Kitten. So while the update to Legacy seems to stop most people from playing the Hypos, it had caused a whole host of new bugs to pop up across the game, which included things like lighting glitches, broken animations, and even a quote-unquote fix to the broken T-Rex hitbox. Some rumors still persist of people having access to Hypo dinos out there, but it seems that the devs do have the situation under control for the most part. But hey, it was a crazy ride. Glad I finally got my first chance to play as a Hypo. But anyway, so moving on to the dev blog, guys. I want to cover this quickly, because this has already been out now for a couple of weeks. But each of the developers gave us a little tidbit on an update on what they're working on. And Kissing Kitten starts off the dev blog by telling us a lot about what the changes were being made to the roadmap, but more importantly, the team is turning their focus to the Elder system, which is an end-of-life stage for our dinosaurs, where we'll be able to select perks to carry on to our next life. That being said, it appears that this feature will be implemented piecemeal as each dinosaur is ready, and it will be added to the roadmap. And that will continue until all of the playable creatures have an Elder stage. Other than that, Kissin lets us know that the dev team has had some new additions, and more people are coming over in the next few months. So Kissin says, with that growth, we will be able to do a little bit more, a little bit faster, which I'm sure is welcome news to everybody. But hey, moving along, Philippe, the lead programmer, tells us the entire team has been working hard on the new dinosaurs and mechanics. Philippe himself is working out the bugs in the swimming system and the meat chunk system as well. Much of what is coming up in the next updates, especially since the Stego got moved up, Philippe has also had to add the impale system to the Stegosaurus tail. And there's additionally some HUD and chat changes that are being worked on to accommodate future indicators for debuffs and diseases, etc. Another exciting thing Philippe mentioned is that apparently the Utah Raptors pounce is getting a lot of love and care, with improvements in connecting with the target and being able to grab on and climb up onto a target when you're close enough. It is here in the dev blog we learn that the Hypsi will have a chargeable jump, which we get a look at here in this clip, which I think is really cool. It makes a lot of sense for there to be a chargeable jump so we can vary how far we want to actually fly through the air. So it's a good thing to test out with the Hypsy. I hope we get to see stuff like this on the Utah as well. And moving on to the Carno, we get our first look at the Carnotaurus charge ability. We get this short little clip here of the Carno just charging right through a number of Dryosaurus, just knocking them out of the way. Doesn't seem to kill them outright. And then you see as it goes through these other two Dryos and runs into a Carno of equal size, it stops. So I'm wondering what more might be coming with this ability, but we'll have to wait and see, and hopefully that'll be soon. Now, I know a lot of us are really excited to see the developers streaming again, especially Amarok, who seems to be streaming the most frequently. We've seen a lot of the work that he's done, but he's working on a lot of UI elements and functionality for servers, such as having a queue to join a server, which is something that I welcome wholeheartedly. You know, as an alternative to just hitting the refresh button over and over until you saw a spot open. This'll be a great change. Some other cool additions for servers will be the ability to add a Discord link and some other player side stuff for group functions, hopefully laying the groundwork for things like pack leaders in the future. And finally, for Amarok's portion, he wants to let us know he's still working on the Tenanto and Utah Raptor AI and doing the best he can to improve their combat. So moving on to Gabriel, or Visual Tech 48, the 3D environmental artist. They have been busy being redacted. Let me show you what I mean. Gabriel says this month's been a bit crazy with the redacted, especially with a lot of variants to the modular kit, which needed more refinement and a lot more models to support the new redacted, which features a lot of cool and modular inclined shapes. Huge constructions like the mentioned garage, a large helipad, and the glorious redacted HQ of a sorts. Far from that, the whole process is going according to plan, alongside a few small models, props, and a few big ones, which will be semi-animated for the blank to interact with and possible use in the near future. Now, if that isn't hinting towards humans coming to the game, I don't know what is. That's some really cagey stuff. I mean, I don't want to read into it too much, but man, I feel an excitement building for the day we finally get to see more human stuff coming to this game, and I think it may be closer than we think. But finally, here in the dev blog, Jacob, the 3D artist, tells us they're busy at work on redesigns and touch-ups and display for us the upgraded Giganotosaurus. I think most people are really happy with this Giga redesign. I think the Giga looks plenty badass all on its own. But this is the perfect spot to transition out of the dev blog, because that was the end of it right there. But we actually got a ton of stuff coming out of Phase 2. First up, we have to talk about the Acro and Alberto redesign concepts. So, I've seen a lot of discussion about the new dimensions of the Albertosaurus, and I want to borrow a piece of art I found on Twitter by Emily Stepp, also known as Emily Art, showing us the old Alberto versus the new one, and her suggestions for how to improve on that new concept. And I think it looks fantastic, because yeah, the Alberto's neck seemed a little short there. But you guys are gonna have to let me know what you think of Emily's art here. I'll include a link to her Twitter down in the description below. Now, as for the Acro, we are lucky enough to get a look at this thick, chunky boy from two different angles. While it does appear certainly to be beefed up, I really like the new look of the Acro. I think it is about time that the Acro gets the love and care it deserves It is an incredible carnivore that has been sidelined for far too long, so it's about time it's getting its due justice. Now, another model we got to take a peek at is the new Ankylosaurus, and this model looks just superb. The new Anky has undergone a major redesign, going from the old classic tank look to more of a big clubbed armadillo. I really don't have too much to say on this. You know, I really just try to defer to what the scientific consensus is currently in the paleontological community, but you guys will have to let me know in the chat what you think of all of these new concepts for our favorite dinosaurs. But now the final piece of news I want to talk about is this concept art for the Carnotaurus. These concepts have proven to be very valuable, given how most of the time what we see on these concepts ends up in the game. And when you look closely, you really start to see some very interesting suggestions for what we can expect once we have our hands on the Carno. First, I noticed the Carno rubbing its horns on trees, and I can't help but wonder if there'll be some sort of, marking mechanic where you might be able to, show that this is your territory by marking trees in the area, or if it's potentially sharpening the horns, adding a damage buff as a result of performing the marking action. Now, in the lower left, we see the Carno's charge attack being represented, combat with a Tenanto on the right, and now if you glance over to what appears to be the Carno's sniff and sleeping animations, we've gotten a chance to look at these through phase 2 on the Discord already. But what I'm most curious about here are these smaller depictions of what look like they could be prey species for the Carnotaurus, and it leads me to think, could this maybe be a hint at what might be the Carnotaurus's preferred diet? Keep in mind, all the dinosaurs will be getting, diets that suit them specifically, that help them to grow into elders and achieve different outcomes based on what they eat. So there's so much here we don't yet understand, guys, but I'm just gonna have to leave it there. That's gonna have to do for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. The Isle is certainly starting to heat up with these updates. I know some of us are frustrated, especially with these buggy updates to Legacy, but I think we are on the cusp of some really exciting new content. Remember, we are getting update number 2 this month. I'll be ready to play it as soon as it drops. So, thanks again for watching, guys. Leave a like and hit that subscribe button. I'll see you all on the next video. Much love, appreciate ya. Peace. Oh, and one last thing. So I was hanging out on the Discord while I was editing this, and Philippe let us know that water level manipulation is a thing, which means that we will have flooding and droughts. So, environmental disasters, here we come. Alright, that's it. I'm out. Catch you guys later.